Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you like these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the Calibre de Cartier Diver. The original Calibre de Cartier, truthfully, underwhelmed when it bowed in 2010, but in 2014, Cartier set the record straight with what must be considered the definitive Calibre de Cartier evolution, the Diver, and in 2015 it began to roll out iterations including this two-tone black DLC steel and 18-karat rose gold variant. This watch rocks. Cartier is anything but one of the usual suspects when you think dive watches, but the Diver needs to be considered, first because of its fit. It's sensational. On my 16cm circumference wrist, note that the watch is only 48.5 millimeters lug to lug and that the case itself is dramatically arced and cambered to wrap around your wrist. I can recommend this 42 millimeter watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, and it's slim too, slimmer than you'd imagine. 11.2 millimeters thick means it's over a millimeter thinner than a Rolex Submariner. It's even thinner than a Daytona. The spacing between the lugs is contemporary. The watch has a butch wrist presence because it has a broad footing, 24 millimeters between the horns, and the strap that's fitted is clever in a few respects. First, it's handsomely articulated with a dimple pattern relieved from the base. It also has a channel with beefy flanks to add a little bit of definition, a little curvature where it butts the case to match the arc of the case, and there's a revetment in the case flank that allows this strap to pull straight down and move entirely unconstrained, despite the fact that there is no daylight visible between strap and case. Handsome and ergonomically excellent. You'll also appreciate the fact that the buckle is simple, stylish, and of course Cartier branded with a matching black DLC and a bridge style stanchion arrangement. So you have the stanchions on the side and then the bridge between them is raised up and over, and whenever you have this staggered bridge and stanchion, it allows the strap to fit inside the clasp rather than stacking up on the wrist. Even that is clever. So you have a cleverly designed watch even in microcosm. Of course, you can see rose gold screws on the flanks and a case that's nicely articulated, principally of satin finish. So it's black, but it's also satin finished. Its defining trait is its shape, which makes it an excellent fit on a smaller wrist, but also the articulation of the lugs, which could have been integrated into the case band, but it would have looked rather plain and uninspired. Instead, they're dramatically stepped out to add a crease or a cleft where the lug abuts the case on each side. The bezel itself is sharply knurled along its narrow and one might even say slightly conical outer circumference where you have that rose gold element. Now, it is wonderfully crisp. 120 click like a proper dive bezel should be. The click is loud, the report is clear, and the detent, although very refined in the matter of a Grand Seiko, Rolex Submariner, or even Blancpain 50 Fathoms, is sharper than any of those. There's a dished ADLC or amorphous diamond-like carbon-coated bezel, and you can line it up with the minute hand. Now you've got an impromptu 0 to 60-minute timer. I always prefer a dive bezel to a chronograph 9 times out of 10. I need to time something that is under 60 minutes. And remember, most chronographs only give you a 30-minute register, so this is ideal, and there are no downstream maintenance costs for a chronograph. Highly stylized, iconic Cartier dial. It is a black dial with a matte finish and a rose gold chapter ring for constant seconds at 6. Rose gold ring and aperture for the triple date, the idea being if the minute hand covers the current date, you can see the preceding and the succeeding date and thus discern the date even when it's blocked. It is beautifully loomed, and I'm going to show that in a moment. It's simply sensational. The Cartier secret signature is hiding in the Roman numeral 10 in the upper left-hand corner of the dial, and by the way, absolutely torch-like at night, but I'm getting ahead of myself. On the crown side, you can see that there are screw-fixed shear guards that can actually be removed and replaced during service if they get scratched and scuffed. And then there is a rose gold crown with a simulated blue sapphire cabochon. Turn it all over, and well, frankly, there's not much to see on the case back, but it lives up to its promise of 300 meters. And yes, it is a diver's watch. Inside that 11.2 millimeter thick case is Cartier manufactured caliber MC 1904 PS, PS for Petite Seconde, twin twin mainspring barrels for a very even torque release from maximum wind to minimum wind. It is a very precise movement that's adjusted with Edachron, so I have enormous confidence in the chronometric qualities of this movement. And 48-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate, 300 meters water resistant, screw down crown, stop seconds, as well as a quick set date. This one, 27 joules and made in-house by Cartier, is sports watch tough, and if I had to be honest, I would bet that this could keep time as well as any ETA chronometer. This is a handsome watch that's large without bullying your wrist, viable on a huge range of forearms, and, if I may, a little bit more stylish than even some of the mainstream champions of the dive watch category. The price says Rolex sub, but the look says Blancpain 50 Fathoms. In terms of status and stature, this one's got it all going on with a little bit of a raffish quality to boot. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox. Calibre de Cartier diver, as you can see, practically a UFO by night, fully loomed and distinctively so. See it by day and make it yours on the Watchbox.